Is traveling to find yourself really that important? It's such a common saying. Take a gap year, find yourself, travel the world, go to India, find yourself. And all of that stuff kind of confused me because, as a friend said, why travel and change the scenery when it's all internal anyways? I mean, save money on a flight, read a book or something. It's not out there. I didn't know what to think, and I'm reading a book. Wait, hold on. I'm reading a book about a guy who escapes from prison multiple times, and he basically sails around the world trying to escape, and he truly seemed to find himself. And I wanted to know, was it the traveling that did that? But he's dead, so I'm gonna do it on my own. It's important to mention that I learnt a lot before I even left the runway. Who would be better to ask about travelling than the pilots?
You know how people say that they find themselves traveling, yeah? So I'm gonna go to Thailand and I'm gonna find myself, my spirit. Do you think you can actually do you think it's external? Or do you think these people are jumping back on your flights, right, when they could stay at home and learn about themselves?
I think you can learn a lot about yourself in any situation, yeah. But then, like, external experiences expose you to something you might not have experienced before.
It's like here in comparison to like the Philippines, for example, where a lot of people go to start a contrast in terms of living standards.
Yeah.
If you do visit stuff like that,
It might change your perspective on many things.
or even a new purpose, you know, like going out trying to help people.
That is interesting, yeah. I guess getting outside your normal sphere of influence.
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of what you think in life is influenced by those around you and how you're brought up. So if you see something entirely different to that, then you end up with it. I didn't expect to discuss philosophy
That's a
this
good
morning.
take, that's a good take.
Someone's getting pissed really, aren't they?
Yeah, I do feel like go to the beach or go to Magaluf. Yeah, they're trying to find themselves someone. Find themselves.
Find themselves in someone else's bed.
Yeah, exactly. That's more what they're going for, I think. But you know, maybe you can learn about yourself there too.
But nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. That was awesome. Cheers.
They had made it clear that there's two sides to travelling. There's getting absolutely smashed, and there's getting outside of your normal set of influences. At first, I kind of thought they were just practical answers to the question, but as I went through the trip, I realised they were much more philosophical than I thought. So listening to the pilot, I began to focus on the changes in my sphere of influence, or simply the new things travelling let me experience, which made me remember an old story I've heard about a monk. Somewhere in China a long time ago, there was a monk who was known to be enlightened. He would spend his time chilling at the top of this mountain in complete isolation. One day, someone thought to visit him to seek out the secret to enlightenment. So they made this huge journey, leaving society completely and climbing to the top of the mountain. Eventually, when they got there, they met the monk and asked what was the secret. The monk told them to go back down into society. Their advice on reaching enlightenment wasn't to retreat into a cave, but to actively engage with society. At this point in the trip, I began to realize the beautiful hills and crystal clear water weren't doing much for me. I knew they were amazing, but they weren't helping me learn about myself, let alone find myself. So, I was taking a post-dinner walk, maybe slightly drunk, and I ended up spending some time with a local.
Just a little bit, make me relax. I go like this to take my glass down. I forgot my glass tonight. I try to go out very fast and I forgot. They have fish. I catch fish like that with a breath like this big. But now, nothing tonight.
We talked about everything, her family history, life in New York. But it wasn't just the conversation that taught me about myself, it was the challenge of starting a conversation with a stranger. The same sense of challenge I felt before talking to the pilots. To me, the story of the monk is perfect to explain this. See, the monk's advice on reaching enlightenment wasn't to retreat into a cave or into isolation, but to actively engage with the world. I mean, as I look back on the trip now, it's obvious that it was the uncomfortable parts that actually taught me things. It was the parking your boat and trying not to hit other boats. It was the not knowing really what I was doing and almost damaging things. It was when I was overcoming stress, that was when I was learning about myself, not when I was looking at the calm sea or the beautiful surroundings. And that type of learning about myself, traveling didn't really have much to do with, other than providing easy ways to feel that way. It wasn't being in paradise that made me grow, it was being uncomfortable. I'm almost certain you could feel that way just by talking to someone on a park bench, or a cashier, or someone in a queue. In fact, one of the most impactful parts of the entire thing, despite sailing and whatnot, was actually talking to the lady next to me on the plane. So I think the pilots were right all along. You can learn about yourself in any situation. Traveling gets you out of your sphere of influence and gives you new ways to learn. But really, you can always make yourself uncomfortable, and that's where you're going to find out yourself. Find yourself. Yeah. But yeah, the rewards that come with finding yourself, or whatever you want to call it, I don't think have to be blocked by an expensive plane ticket or a Jet2 holiday or whatever. As I heard someone say, you never find yourself, you have to create yourself, and traveling is a good way to facilitate that. So I guess my new perspective is closer to this. Put yourself out there, but ultimately remember, it's not out there. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. So yeah, have a good day.